drink ale. ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ᚞ᚪᚷ, hello, welcome. It's ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ᚞ᚪᚷ, the ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ᚞ᚪᚔ of Woden's Earth, the ancestral hall. Today, again, I am in the North of Scaife, in the West Thirding of Yorkshire in ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ᚞ᚪᚔ. Many apologies for last week, but because I was away on holiday in Scotland, so I couldn't just re-record the video, because I don't want to make videos like this just in some B&B or hotel or whatever. But it wasn't just this, it was the post on Ragnarok as well. I posted them up, and for some reason, I don't know if I had it mute by mistake while I were like editing the video. I don't know why, but there was no volume at all. They should be on this. I've just done a dry run for a minute and let's played it back, and the volume were there. So at this point, it's recording volume, and so that's where we're at basically. So this is a post that's for Monersdag, the 18th of May, tomorrow. Obviously, again, I'm recording on Sunday evening, so I'm not rushing when I get in from work tomorrow night to try and get this down. Now, I did have the notes from the Overwar, but I'm kind of like this. It's strange. It recorded in no volume. There's something wasn't right. So I've rewritten my notes today. So if you see me plopping down there, yeah, I've got some notes stuck under there, just to keep me on track once I get going. Okay, this will be the last bit about the Overwar. I'm going to tell you at the end what I'm bringing this round to, what I'm going to do next week for the Monersdag post. Okay. The Overwar clearly differs from Ragnarok. However, it is still an end of days catastrophic event that is predicting. It's a lot less about the gods and the gods fighting and stuff like that. In fact, Tunna dies, and Frigg dies, and ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ, and there's the only three that he actually mentioned dying, didn't he, if I remember correctly. But I don't know what it is about this story in compared to Ragnarok. To me, it just feels ancient. It feels correct. I don't know, and it feels a lot more relevant to what's going on today, which is what I'm going to point out a little bit. I'm not going to go mad into this because I don't want it to become some kind of political statement or all like that, because obviously some of my thoughts kind of borderline over that kind of way with this, and it's unchristianized because it's not written down by a Christian who's fearing persecution. It's not being rewritten by Christians who are fearing persecution. So it just feels a lot more realistic and as to kind of what could be going on today. Okay, so the ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ, this is this being that we suddenly hear of, right? And I'm not going into its description today. It's got its like dragon's legs and its lion's legs and all this kind of stuff. It's a monstrosity, okay? And it's been hidden. It's been chained up for 90,000 years. It says 3 times 30,000. I make that 90. So for 90,000 years, okay, this ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ has been fettered and kept away, similar to the Fenris wolf. When the Fenris breaks his chains, it's a sign of Ragnarok. When the ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ gets free, it's not a sign of Ragnarok. It's not a sign of the Overwar. It is the Overwar, because unlike the Fenris, which is just a little part of a bigger story, the ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ is the story. So then, I think, what is the ᛗᚪᚪᚋᚪᚔ? What does it represent? And there's a million things it could be in the book. It's like it says it's hidden in a place, that's in land and water, surrounded by a mountain and topped with a golden wall. That sounds like a volcano to me when it erupts, right? Now, if you think if all the world's volcanoes did erupt at the same time, we would have a cataclysmic end of days event, no doubt about it, right? And this is an ancient power that it's talking about as well, that we've forgotten about. We've long ago forgotten about and given up on it. Right? So people are complacent. We're not worrying about this face mortis. So how is it explained? It's got 4 heads, and all the heads act independently of each other, and they don't know the other exists. So each head individually hears its own voice, right? And that's all. And it's correct, because nothing to counteract what it's saying. So the first head just screeches, wordless, mournful, like noise. I'm going to use one person to describe this. Greta Thunberg, right? As soon as she opens her flap under her nose, that's all it is to me. It's just screeching, whiny little human being, right, that ought to have stayed at school and got some qualifications, got a real job, yeah, instead of all this fakery that she gets into now and all this stupidity, yeah. So I can't listen to her, yeah. But it's not about her, it's about she represents a certain kind of person or group or ideology that most sensible minded people just don't want to listen to, because they're talking nonsense. Okay. The second one laments sorrow and regret. So everything's mournful, everything's sorrowful, everything's regret. Right? And again, there's different kinds of groups out there that would listen to this kind of stuff. So there's those that go down the dark roads of life, that are not happy, and have got all sorts of issues. That's one particular group, isn't it? Then there's the other groups that are always, oh, we're so badly done to, and but everyone else gets everything, kind of. Yeah. So you can see, and again, don't wash with me. Yeah? It's not my cup of tea at all, that nonsense, because that's all I see as in nonsense. Yeah, they'll just grow up, some of them, and get on again with a real life. That's my personal view. One sings wondrous music. Okay, now this is, I think this is like a red herring, because the wondrous music is those that aren't suffering. The ones that hear this are the ones that's got plenty. The ones that blindly go through life and don't worry about anything, don't believe in anything, for a start. Okay, so all they hear is wondrous music. Okay, and then the last voice is silent, but some people claim that it whispers to them. They hear the whisper, and this is the spiritually awakened. That's my interpretation on this. Those that are wide awake, yeah, wake up, right, step out of the system, have a look at the system, right, and then jump back on the Ferris wheel with your mind open, right, so you're not just accepting all the nonsense that we have put down as throats. Right. 4 possibilities to explain them voices, but this is an ancient power in it. Okay, when it says neither of his heads hears the others, yeah, but everybody hears one voice, but they're not seeing each other's, and they're not hearing each other's points of view. Okay, and anything that they do hear that they don't agree with, they'll distort the truth, they'll twist it, they'll lie, and they'll try to make it fit their agenda, and the people listening to their head will accept that. Okay, this is what's happening now. When you look at the world, when you look, we've got people like Donald Trump and Putin, and then we've got I can never remember his name, that guy who's the puppet for Ukraine. And then we've got people like Kim Jong-un, you know what I mean? So you got like 4 major players in a big game of war there, right? They are calling shots, but then you've also got the USA, Iran, Israel, and Russia, again, playing out these dangerous games that they're playing with everybody else's lives and well-being at the moment. But you can bring that more down onto like our country. So in the UK, we've got the Conservatives. Okay, now at the minute, they just lament sorrow and regret, don't they? Right? And then we've got the Labour Party who's in power at the moment, who are just screeching wordless and nonsense, aren't they? No one believes in them. No one wants their agenda, what they've got, but they're going to push ahead with it anyway for as long as they can until they get ousted. And then it just makes it really hard for everyone normal to try and turn it back. Okay? And then we've got the super rich and the mega rich who just go, meh. They're not bothered, because everybody who may actually rock the boat is suddenly right-wing and dangerous, yeah? So you've got this. And then again, you've got those that are silent because we kind of know in his hearts where this could lead. We know where this could end. And for those that, I mean, it says that no one survives. It doesn't say everybody dies in the afterwar, but it says no one will survive some kind of hurt or humiliation or death. Yeah, so everyone's going to get hit with something during the afterwar, right? But after the war has to come the peace, and it's those that are awake that will be able to help rebuild that world and maybe return people to like a real existence where we get rid of it. It's like even now when I'm talking this camera, it's kind of almost hypocritical because I hate technology. You know, it's like I think it's gone too far. Yeah, but I utilise it because we do, don't we? We utilise it. But I've no electric light in here. I could have. I've got electricity in. I burn candles. I just get a better feeling when I'm here doing these videos. I'm burning candles rather than I've just got a big electric light going on. So, swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I'm not one for opting out of life and thinking, oh, we'd live better if we lived like his ancestors. No, we wouldn't. If you could bring someone from Saxon England, from, I don't know, 449, and bring them here and say, we'll give you a machine gun, you give us your sword. And when they've tried it, they're going to do it. We'll knock your mud hut down, but we'll give you a house. They'd take it. Oh, we're going to take your horse off you, but you can have a car. They'd take it. Right? If they had a chance to live the way we do, they would. So anybody who really thinks that they want to go backwards, to that extent, you're wrong. Because most of us wouldn't even survive it. We're too soft for a start. But there's that in between, isn't there? So it's like in June when my kindred and we're going to go out into the woods for a weekend and live by firelight and mead and cooking on cast iron pots. At least you can do these things that take you out of the rat race for a while and just let you come back to earth and get yourself recharged and going again. So there are possibilities, and like I said, I'm not going to make a big political thing out of this at all, because that's not what this kindred's about whatsoever. But all I'm saying is you can see like the Overwar when you're watching TV at the moment. The Overwar's on TV. They're just not calling it the Overwar. The Ragnarok's not on TV. Yeah, so there is differences. The last little bit I'm going to add on to here, it says that ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ knows about the ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ basically. It doesn't mention Woden, Frigg or Thor knowing about the ᛗᚩᚾᚪᚋ. So we know that Tyr means a god. So I would suggest that ᚗmeans a god. If I'm wrong on that, you can correct me. But is Woden just another name for ᚗ? Or is ᚗ actually the old Sky Father that Woden supersedes? Or are they just the same person? Because how does Woden know anything about this if he doesn't know the ᚗᚪᚋᚪᚋ exists? Or does it just not bring that fact to life? It's possible, yeah, that there's something missing from the story there that connects it all back together. But ᚗknows about him. But it just makes me wonder between these two great characters of ᚗand Woden. You know, are they just not one and the same? There's something else I need to think for myself more on, is that one. And our first heroine is the Great Mother herself. She goes down to ᚗᚪᚪ and they both die in the fight. Yeah. So all the bad dies in the world because she kills ᚗᚪᚪ, but ᚗᚪᚪ kills the mother. She kills Frigg, the great spinner. Right, so the world loses as well because the world dies and then has to regrow, which we know that even in the Overwar story it does come back. And they all say there's a fine line between genius and madness, and when it says that Woden's madness now becomes genius and everything grows from his knowledge, so there was a purpose, and there's a reason he doesn't die and he wanders in madness for a while, wondering where it all went wrong. Boom, and it's back. But ᚗᚪᚪ, okay, I'm not going to mention much about him here. He does die in this battle, we know that. But I'm going to leave it there because next week I'm going to talk about ᚗᚪᚪ versus Thor, and it's a battle of giants, okay? Because clearly they're both thunder gods, they're both giant slayers, but there are a lot of differences. And so this is where I'm going to take this on the next Mona's Dag post. I'm actually going to start looking at one of everybody's favourite god, really, Thor or ᚗᚪᚪ in it. It's everybody's champion, yeah. So we're gonna have a bit of a deep dive into Thor and ᚗᚪᚪ. It may take more than one video because I don't want to kind of go off half cock on it, because there's a lot of information needs to be looked at to put something together that will actually make sense at the end of the day. So that's what's coming next, and so I'm going to leave it at that for you. So I'm back to work tomorrow, I'm sure you all are, so take care out there and stay safe. In Woden's Keep, drink ale.